Well, hey, greetings, folks. Ed Downs here on the weekend. Actually, it is September 10th today, and I'm prospecting for trades to enter into the market tomorrow. And I realize as I put this title on here that is September 11th, a very historic day, one that we will never forget. And we want to always have reverence for everything that happened on that day. As far as tomorrow goes, we have a market opening with a lot of confusion. This week, up and down, sideways, a lot of concern about interest rates and all kinds of things, kind of making the market sort of go back and forth. But even though that's happening, we can find some really great candidates with this amazing Elliott Fibonacci Trader 2, and that's what I want to show you how to do today. Now, if you're new to the product, when you go to download it off the dashboard, you should see a quick start in the dashboard. The quick start will cover a lot of things about the plugin, basically installing it, about the videos that we have available for you from version 1. And frankly, those tactics in version 1 are still very applicable to this version. It's just easier to find them with the Fibonacci retracements identified the way they are. So I want to encourage you to go look at that and just go through, how the thing is set up and what it's actually doing. But we know the primary advantage of version 2 is identifying these key Fibonacci retracement levels. They are really, really good. Obviously, they're not perfect. A market can turn at one of these levels and then fail. But most of the time, if you go looking through chart after chart after chart and just look where these numbers are present, these parentheses numbers, you will see that most of the time, I think it's well more than 75%, 80% of the time, the chart does move significantly in that direction because of the power of the Fibonacci number retracement theory. So today what I want to do is go into OmniTrader, and we're going to look at these Omni scans that I've run and go through some candidates. I'm going to show you exactly what we're looking for with this. And again, the value of this product is that it is finding these for you to go through and look at. It doesn't take very long. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and dive into OmniTrader. I'll fire it up here and we'll go through our candidates for today. Okay, so here's OmniTrader with these different scans, and I've got EFT2 Wave Up selected here. And again, I'm sure you know how to run OmniScan. Just for those who may be new to the product, our to-do list button up here just does everything. You check download data, get the list done, and then run analysis. They're normally checked for you. I've already done it, so these aren't checked right now, but hit perform selected tasks. It just does everything. So it populates the list properly from the scans, and then you go through the candidates. To make sure that the scans are there, you hit the pencil icon here on the top of the focus list. It's the pencil. It opens up the OmniScan interface where you can select these scans, and you just want to make sure that the 4 that are with the package have been selected. And I think I have a few additional ones selected here, and you could turn as many on as you want. But when this comes up, you'll see that it has the 4 from the package and then plus a few extras. And so here you can see I have EFT2 Wave Down, EFT2 Wave Down Fib Confirm, EFT2 Wave Up, and EFT2 Wave Up Fib Confirm. So the difference is that the Wave Down and the Wave Up are all identified waves. No matter what the count, if it's identified and it's down, it's there. Identified and up, it's in this list. And there's a reason why you go through those. Even though we really like the confirmed ones, if I say down and confirmed, all of these are at wave 3 and 5, and that's great. But like you can see today, with the market kind of behaving like it is, there aren't so many in the up list right now. Does that mean we're going down? It could, but we want to find good candidates. So let's go ahead and go back to doing that and work on that objective. Okay, let's go to EFT2 Wave Up. I'm going to close this, get back to our list here. Alrighty. And you'll notice that I have these orange lines. And so what I've done is I've gone through these candidates before the session here and just click through them. So I basically just start, typically I'll go ahead and sort on the signals just to get the new signals at the top up there. And then just start going through them. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking for. There's essentially 3 things. First, of course, is that in this list, we have both the confirmed Fibonacci waves that are confirmed, which is identified by this FRET column. See, it's a 60 there, a 62 here. Here's a 37. So those are the ones that are at those key Fibonacci levels. The others are 0, meaning they're not at a key level, but they could be at a very good point, and that's what I want to talk about. So first off is we want to see if we're at a key level. That's really important. The second thing, though, is what do we look like in terms of the chart itself? So here we have, up, down, and we're starting up here. That is a really nice place to trade this because it likely, if the wave continues, will go all the way up to the top of this channel. So you see right across here, that's where it can likely go if it continues in a bullish mode from that low point there. Let's go and look at some more here. PCG. This one is also good. Now, this is at wave 2. Let's cover how we count these waves, because what this software is doing, which is very different from any other Elliott wave software you're going to see, is they're trying to predict what the wave count is. Like, what is it right here? And so depending on whether the pivot is higher or lower than the prior pivot, here it's a little bit higher. That means that it could be a wave 2 because it's the first higher pivot. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if we can find a better example here. Here we go. So this is a wave 5. Why? Because we had a low pivot here, high, low, high. That means we can start a wave 1 followed by a 2. Now this is higher than that, so good. Wave 3, look at how huge that is. Okay, down again, wave 4, and now we're starting into wave 5. So it's basically looking at where these pivots form at the start of each of these waves to guess as to what is the current wave count. Now, and what I'm about to tell you is probably the most important thing about this. If you go into Google, like images, and you search Elliott wave theory, because what you're going to see is they count it differently. It's the same count, but they count at the end of the waves. So they would say that this 2 would be up here, because they're saying, well, yeah, you did wave 2. Well, you know what? That doesn't help us much. Honestly, if marking it at the end of the wave is like after the fact. So when I wrote this software, I wanted to start at the start of the wave, which is what you see on the right edge. This is the start of a potential wave 5. I don't want it giving me a 5 at the end of it because I didn't trade it. I didn't know it was a wave 5. Now I can see a 4 down here if it's counted that way and say, okay, well, that's maybe a wave 5 going, but I just decided, no. This is potentially the start of a wave 5. That's why there's a 5 there. So this is really important because anything else you look at, you're going to see those numbers at the ends of the waves. All right, so what we're looking for movement potential. And when you have a very clear retracement, especially at one of those key levels, and it starts to turn up off that, there's a very good chance that move is going to continue. This one does not have a key retracement. It's down, looks like about maybe 75%, 80%. But what you'll find is that as these pivots are very close to support levels or resistance levels, they're still very good. And this, in fact, is likely to rally. Let's go ahead and look at some more here. This one, a lower pivot from these two. So that's likely to be a wave 1. Okay. Wave 2. Right, that's right, because we came down from here. So wave 2, then we have 3, 4, 5 going up. Again, very bullish indication off that pivot. But think about it. Where we'd really like to catch these is close to the pivot itself, very close to it. So why sometimes are they really far away? In fact, a lot of times you'll see these signals like this one, this long signal fires way off of here. And that's because we're using something called the pullback line to find these pivots. And it forms, if the chart is really radically altering back and forth, it doesn't form fast enough to catch that. If the chart is smoother in its turning, it will catch it closer to the turn. And so that's what we kind of want to see, is that happening. Let's go to Dyno here. Okay, so this one is, wave 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're breaking through highs. That's a really good candidate, and that's why I flagged it. So I have a flag here. Let's go through a few more, just talk about them. This is just going down the list. This one, even though it's seeing a turn there, this just isn't really well formed, and it's going to happen. It's not perfect, so you're going to see these that look like this. Just, they need to be well formed, like up, down, up, like that, right? So let's see this one. This one is really close to support level. That's probably a good support turn right there, but, we can move on. We can find something better. Okay, CME group is a pretty decent wave 5. We came way up here, came down, started up. The problem is that the down to this puts us really close to that resistance level right there. And I would much rather this wave be much lower down here at a key level, like 50% of this move or 60% of it, then it has a lot more chance to go up because of all this price that was up here. If it just pulls back a little bit, even though, it does see a wave there, it sees that turn, and it's marking it as a 5, that's fine. It just doesn't have far to go before it hits this resistance. So you've got to think about what is the movement potential in each chart. Same here, very close to resistance. So look at this next one, work. Now this is a very interesting chart because it has a very well-formed start of a wave 5 at a key Fibonacci level. You can see that right there, 62. We have 38, 62, and 50 are the three levels. They're exactly the Fibonacci retracement. So wave 4, which started there, identified it there. That's where it saw it. Actually, it's right in here somewhere. There's a 4, and now we've got a 5. Very big bar on work. That's a good candidate because it's so bullish on Friday. ACGL is good. Nothing wrong with it. It's came down to strong pullback, and it's taking off. It's not counted as a regular wave because there's probably so many of them ahead of it. See, up, down. They're basically marching up. So waves, they turn around against each other to form the new 5 or the new 3, but this is just continuing to go up. So it says, well, that's a wave, whatever, triple I there, which is a 3, but after a bunch of these have formed. But still, that's a good, good bullish candidate. Okay, so you're probably going to say, well, Ed, you keep telling us these things are pretty good, so what do we do? All right, so I've gone through them, and I have marked the ones that I like for various reasons. So what I want to do right now is go through, and I did this for wave up, wave down, the Fib confirmed up, and the Fib confirmed down. And again, if you go to the Fib confirmed version, you're going to see a Fibonacci retracement at every one of these. The F Fibonacci retracement column is going to have something. I've got it with 3% tolerance. So somewhere for 50%, it's going to be 47 to 53. And you're going to see numbers like that in here. These are all confirmed. And you can see I've gone through them. So to save time, let's go and go to all flagged symbols. Again, the way you flag is by clicking right here in that column, the good opportunity column. That's how you flag it. So I go through, and I can very quickly do it. Let me just quickly show you that. Let's see this one here. This is a down. That's decent. That's decent, but it's volume is pretty low. I just decided it's bouncing around a lot, lots of gaps in it. So I thought, well, I'll just keep going here. I'll find something better. This one's did a great pullback from that key level, but it's now approaching resistance support down there. So I just kind of eyeball them again, approaching support, right? So it's kind of pulled back. It's right there, close to it. This one also. I'm looking at the ones that have big movement potential is really what I'm looking for. Here we've come back to support here. Okay, so let me go ahead and go to the flagged symbol list, which is everything I've marked, and let's go through why I like them. We already talked about WRK, huge bullish move after coming up off of the 50% retracement of this move here. That's really bullish. CVI has moved a lot. It's getting close to resistance, but it's super bullish, this thing. And what you want to do also is look back in the back of the chart and see where could it go to. That's a decent candidate. And so what I'll do is I added the notes column to this. And so when I see one that I really like really like, I'll put a 3, 4, or a 5 in the notes field. This one is good. It's strong, but it's near resistance there. So let's keep going and see if we can find some better ones. Here's Dino. It's broken resistance. Where can it go? Maybe up to here somewhere. Well, that's pretty good. So I'm going to give that. I click the notes column. I just added the notes column using the wrench on the focus list, and I'll make that a 4. Okay, so let's keep going through these. Here's MKSI, and this one is down right here, and that's a decent down. Decent down. I'm going to give it like a 3. Okay, Delta Airlines breaking through support. That's a nice 5 right there. Why? Because it just looks weak. This, it was very strong. It pulled back. Nobody was expecting that. It tried to rally. It couldn't do it. It got up here to, 34%, very close to 38, and then turned down again. So this is likely to go down here somewhere. So for a short, that's a good candidate. Get HCA. Again, we're moving back towards support down here. It's a good candidate. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. So let's see. Here we go. This one going back to support down here. It's good. Where has it been before? All over the place. So, okay. There's no clear place it can go. This one's breaking support down here. That's good. Messy. And it is a long-term support. So that little wave 5 right there. So, right here is, wave 3. Why? Because this is a higher pivot than here. 1, 2, 3. Breaking support, likely to keep going down. I'm going to give that about a 4. All right, keep going here. WTW, nice, very weak stock. If you're doing shorts, this one has, a good, it looks like 3% to go to get to support down here. Probably going to do it. I'll give that one a 4. And again, I'm just clicking the notes column, typing a number and hitting enter. Okay, this is through support right there, barely. It's kind of right at it, so I'm going to go ahead and pass on that one. RCK, going for support, very similar to the others we looked at. So I'll give that a 4 also. And we'll go through 2 more here. Same thing. So, basically down. And it's counting, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It's starting a 5 right here, but it doesn't make a 5. It doesn't get all the way up there. So now we're going down. So now that looks like a 3 because 1, 2, 3. See what I'm saying? If it had gone up to here, it would be a normal 5 because these advance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here, but it didn't. So well, it's not going to be a 5. It's going to be a 3 down. And so that's a decent candidate with that chart. All right. KBR, these are all very similar going back to support down here. Now, if they fulfill what they can, you notice every time these waves form, here's a 5 that goes past that resistance, right? And so here's 3, goes past resistance here. So that's likely to happen on any of these. So you'll go past the support identified by that 2 right there. This is the start of a move down. Okay, we'll give that one a 4. TSM, gap down, at support, barely through support. It's pretty good chance it's going to continue down there. So we'll give that a 4. Now let's look at some more of the short. Let's do the shorts before we do the longs. I'll do these next up here. So this one is kind of a messy chart. Northrop Grumman, sideways, right at support there. I would pass on that one. It's just not clear. It's not a clear wave formation. This one down is pretty good. That's Charles Schwab, broker. It had a strong gap up here, and then it fell through the gap, tried to rally, started to go down again. That's a decent candidate for a continued down move. This one, JCI. All right, Johnson Controls is again the same. It's going for support right here. So that's decent for a short. Give that a 4. And then these are just, so the dot here means that the system that we're running fired an exit right there, but it's weak. It's going down hard. Pretty good chance it'll go through support here, but let's look at the other 2 we have. This one, 5, the upside looks actually pretty good. 4, 5. Not bad on that as far as the long goes. So I'll say 4 on this one. And then this one going through support, down through support right there. Okay, so it's also like a 4. And we got 3 more to look at here. They don't have signals on them, but wave 3, wave -3, -3. So wave 3, pretty good. Kind of a volatile chart, but it goes up, comes down, starts up again. That's actually a really good candidate. I'm going to make that a 5. And look at Snapple, or Snap, sorry, not Snapple. It's SNPL. So here we have, again, turning down towards support. We have several candidates like that. That one's kind of volatile. So here is a wave 3 down. The problem with this chart is it is pulling back, hitting support at these key levels, and then rallying. So, is it likely to do that here? Well, it has done it a bunch of times, so it could. All right. So let's go back to our longs now that we didn't look at, which is this one, the X. So we got a nice saucer pattern, a gap down, which is an exhaustion gap because it's turning up. That's a good bullish candidate generally, but it's not a clear wave candidate, so we're going to pass on it. And then this one, wave 4, starting up. Excuse me. So kind of messy. It's trying to find the wave count, having a hard time with this chart because it's so volatile. Right there, it comes down and starts up again with a little gap right there. It looks, just as the chart goes, looks okay, but not really according to the wave theory. All right, so we've got these things now that we've flagged, and then we go through them and decide if we want to do any. And one thing you also have to be aware of the market itself. Like, what's the market doing? And we know we've had this indecision recently. In fact, I can plot QQQ right here, which is, of course, the NASDAQ. You just look at it. So we came down, rallied up. We're kind of in this down mode right now. It came off of a pivot in the market or coming down. This move down surpassed that low right there. This is less than the high. So the way to bet, if you're just going to bet on the chart, is that we're going down more. So that's just something to be aware of. So we're looking at these shorts here and going, they have a good chance of going down? Yes. So I'll say, short this one, and let's look at this one here. Again, very weak, very good chance. So let's say short that one, and just go through a few of these. This is a upside signal that looks good for a long, so we're going to try to balance these out between longs and shorts. Don't have too many to go through. This is breaking through, very strong move. Remember, the NASDAQ was down. This is very strong up, so that's a reasonable long there. And this one dropping, but support's really close to it, so we're going to pass on that one. This one is good. Here, look at the trend line going through all these lows. We've touched that. That's called the kiss of death. When you have a line, and I'm just going to try to tell you some things here that I know from doing this for a while, is that when you have basically a trend line and you come up and you almost touch that on the downside, that's not good for a market. So that's really vulnerable to going down right there. We'll just say short that one. Go through a few more here to get the gist of it. This is really going through long-term support here. It's not good for Massey. It could gain strength. We're like really close to that level, so I'd wait a little bit on it. Just gonna say, wait here, and look at a couple more. RGK. We're going for, a support level 1, 2, 3. Likely to go down there, and that's about 2% down to here. So good chance it'll get that. I'll go ahead and mark it. We've got a lot of shorts now. Let's go and look at some of these longs. Work, we talked about the strength of this. I like to look at the rest of the chart. Where has it been? It's been way up here. You got higher lows for them. That's what Elliott waves basically do. And so we're moving. That's a good long candidate. So I was going to say long on that one. And it looks like that's it. So I end up with 3 longs, 4 shorts, and a wait. And you can actually sort on the notes field. So there's a wait, 4 shorts, 3 longs. Okay, so the longs are BHC, Dino, and WRK. The shorts are ROK, PCTY, MKSI, and KBR. Okay, so those are our candidates for prospecting. Again, if you just look at this market right here, we're not in, like if we were in a mode like this, it'd be much easier to decide what to do. because we had such bullishness before this downturn, it's really hard to tell whether we're going to continue down here. I think the charts are saying that that's likely. But again, we've got an indecisive market because of rates and all kinds of things happening. So what we're doing is trying to find trades within the market that on their own are strong. And you can see in both cases, if I hit a short candidate, really weak going down. If I hit a long candidate, if I get the right one, strong going up. And this is always going to be the case in any market you have this going on. And so we're trying to trade strength or weakness regardless of where the market is, but that is going to have an impact. That indecision will mean that the market could suddenly go either direction really hard. And so, obviously if you're long and the market turns down hard, those longs are going to pull back, possibly go negative. So you have to be ready to get out of them. And the same for shorts the other way. All right. Excuse me. So that is my update for today. Prospecting. Hope I've helped you with it. And again, just to emphasize, this market is difficult compared to the typical case is like this kind of a thing. You see, we looked at a lot of historical charts in my little demo, and where those thick lines are, those are really good points to go long and short. Just historically, if you just go through, I'll just kind of randomly do some here. They are good for strong retracement move candidates. Look at this one right here. They're great. Here's down one. Just right now, we've got this indecision, so we're trying to navigate with that. But hopefully you find the product really valuable for you to find these things. Again, I don't know of anything else that can do it, and so just being aware, you get into a good market mode where we are forming solid Elliott waves on the market itself. This is really going to help you find those stocks that are in that mode and matching those waves, or creating their own pattern that is very, very clear. You want that clear, down, up, down. Basically, I show it in this picture here from the quick start. IBM had really clear moves. That's what you want to see when you're looking to trade one. The more volatile it is, the more uncertain the chart's going to be, the more activity there is, pushing the stock around. So you want to look for this kind of thing going on, and those are going to be your best candidates. All right. So again, Ed Downs from Nirvana Systems and Elliott Fibonacci Trader 2 will keep doing these prospecting sessions for you to help you learn the product and learn how to use it and learn how to trade with it. And I'm just very excited having used this for a little while since we've had it out. It's very effective, and I hope that you can see that from our session today. Thanks, folks, and stay tuned. We'll let you know when the next session occurs. All right. Take care. We'll see you next week.